Welcome back to Silver Seeker, and this week we have seen some significant moves in the silver market. In fact, Wednesday and Thursday, that is July 12th and 13th of 2023, we have seen silver move from $23 an ounce almost all the way to $25 an ounce. Now that's a pretty significant move of almost, but not quite 10%. Either way, definitely nice to see that in the market to get some excitement into silver moving up. And then July 14th, that is Friday as I record this video, and right now it's around 10:30 in the morning, I have not actually seen a pullback. So I would have expected to see a little bit of sell-off, people doing profit taking, but we have not actually seen that in the market today, which is very, very promising going into next week if you're somebody that wants to see the price continue to move up. Now, as a reminder, we are not financial advisors, and we certainly do not predict the price of silver on this channel. I'll leave that to you, but what I do want to do is talk to you about why that may have happened this week in the silver market, what has caused it to go up, and what could continue to cause it to go up here in the next couple of weeks. So let's get into it, but before we do, don't forget to subscribe if you like silver information like this and help us continue to grow the channel. And additionally, I want to remind you that we are actually giving away silver every single month on my website at Coolstax.com. I will put a link down below for this month's giveaway where we're giving away a 1 ounce silver kangaroo. So go check that out right now and let's get into it. So like we already said, silver has made some significant moves over just the last couple of days. And if we take a look at this pricing chart right here, you can see that silver was trading on Tuesday, July 11th at just $23.13 per ounce. And then if we continue to look at silver price going the last couple of days, so we go from that Tuesday, July 11th up to silver on Wednesday closing at $24.14, Thursday all the way up to $24.89. And as you can see today, it's even still climbing, right now sitting at $25.10, although the climb today is not near as significant as it was the last couple of days. Now, many of you might be telling me that Silver Seeker, it wasn't just a couple of months ago that silver was trading for $26 or $27 an ounce, and you would be correct. May 4th of 2023, you can see we had silver close at $26.06, and since then we have had a pretty significant decline, except for a couple of bumps right here. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about what's currently happening, because that's what's more important when we're looking at the silver price and why that may be. And a lot of that has to do with this report right here. And what this is a news release from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, from the U.S. Department of Labor. And this is basically your CPI report, your Consumer Price Index, June 2023. If you ever wonder where these numbers come from, it's literally an official release every single month. And I'll put a link for this down below if you want to see it yourself, but we'll just kind of go over what's going on here, and we'll talk about why this is affecting the silver price. So it says the Consumer Price Index of all urban consumers, CPI-U, rose 0.2%, blah, blah, blah. We're going to skip all that and get down to here. Right here, it says, over the last 12 months, the all items index increased 3% before seasonal adjustment. So basically, this report is saying that the government is reporting that the cost of everything is 3% higher than it was 12 months ago today. That is actually a pretty high increase if you think about it. It's a lot lower than what it was last year, but it is also lower than what it was expected to be. So many analysts expected a rise of 3.1%, and the report comes out and shows 3% increase. Now, if we scroll down a little bit farther, down here we look at the all items less food and energy index rose 4.8% over the last 12 months. So basically, this is the CPI report excluding food and energy, and that's 4.8%, which it was expected to be 5%. So these numbers actually both came under what people expected them to be, what market analysts expected them to be, so on and so forth. Now, of course, before we get into why this might be affecting gold and silver, I will acknowledge that many of you call this report the CP lie. And the reason for that is it's very obvious that if you go out and you go shopping, and if you compare what the cost of everything is versus what it was just a year or even a couple of years ago, the numbers are significantly different. A lot of people are hurting right now and struggling because everything is so much more expensive. In fact, many times when I talk about why people are selling, many of you will chime in and say that people are selling because they're hurting. They need money, and I totally get it. And that's also part of the reason that you might be seeing a decline, especially in the small buyers of silver, because they just don't have the money to put in the silver right now because they're hurting from the massive increase of the cost of basically everything. So I totally get the term CP lie when talking about this report, and I don't disagree with it. I do feel myself going out that everything is much more expensive than it was just a couple of years ago. But getting back into why this is affecting silver, and we'll get the chart back up on the screen for you, is because the market traders, that is the people that are trading paper, gold, and silver on the market right now as a way to make more fiat currency, they see the lower than expected CPI numbers as a very good sign that the Fed's tightening cycle is working. Now, what that means is the Fed is increasing interest rates, and the reason that they're increasing interest rates is a way to get inflation under control. Now, whether or not it's working, that's up for debate. Clearly, it's not working as well as they would like it to, but this signals to the market traders that it is actually starting to work. And what happens when it starts to work is the Fed is starting to get a signal that says, hey, what we're doing is working. Let's slow down. Let's bring it in. Let's stop it. And even early next year, I think March of 2024 is when there's an expected interest rate decrease. So if this tightening cycle keeps working, it could be signaling to the traders that we might be seeing a change in the market. We could even see a weaker dollar. One thing we've noticed during these high times of inflation is that we've actually had quite the strong dollar index. But if things start to turn around and the dollar price, the value of the dollar, I should say, starts to come down, then it becomes a little bit different of a story, because you may or may not know this, but the value of the dollar going down increases the price of gold and silver. So if the dollar is worth less tomorrow than it is today, then silver naturally trades for more US dollars, even if silver isn't actually worth more in trade for gold and silver. So that's why that number very much affects the spot price for silver and gold. Because remember, like we said, if you look at this chart right here, these numbers, they don't just signal what silver is worth, but they signal what it's worth in US dollars. So if the US dollar is weaker, then even if gold is still worth 22, 24 tomorrow, or well, today 25, but even if silver is worth 25 tomorrow, but the dollar is worth half tomorrow what it is today, then that $25 becomes $50 an ounce overnight, without silver having to ever had been worth more in trade for goods and services. And so I don't predict gold and silver prices on this channel. And as you can see, this has actually it's been doing something for gold too. So if we look at gold over the last week, we have actually seen a increase in gold as well. But we don't predict what gold and silver is actually going to do here, but we do like to look into why it's making the moves that it is making. From, like I said, Monday we were sitting at 1924 for gold. Today we're sitting at 1968. Monday we were sitting at 2314, and then right now we're sitting at 2509. This chart hasn't updated, but you get the idea. So that is why those numbers are greatly affecting gold and silver prices today. So hopefully today's video at least gave you a little bit of insight as to why gold and silver are doing what they're doing in this current market. And as always, I'll remind you that we don't actually predict gold and silver prices on this channel. I'm not going to tell you what I think it's going to do next week, because the truth is that I don't know. And nobody else really knows what's going to happen from one day to the next. People can guess and they can make educated guesses, but at the end of the day, they are going to be wrong more often than they are right. So I will never try and predict what silver is going to do on this channel. That being said, if you like videos and news and information about silver and silver stacking and more tips like that, don't forget to subscribe, like I said earlier, and help us continue to grow the channel, because we are at almost 150,000 subscribers and definitely appreciate your support. Additionally, don't forget to enter that giveaway I told you about at the beginning of the video, because we are giving away silver every single month on this channel for the rest of 2023 and probably going forward from there as well. And also, if you haven't seen this video above me, I'm sure it's a great one, so now is a really good time to go check that one out. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, and you have a fantastic rest of your day.